In what year were you diagnosed with diabetes?
What year?
Yeah.
Probably 1970.
How old were you back then?
Like I was 23.
And so how long you have been living with diabetes for?
I've been almost 60 now.
Wow.
So, a long time. My mom was carrying me. They found out she had diabetes. So I just assumed that someday I would have diabetes as I got older. But for the longest time after I found out I had diabetes, I was in denial. You know, like I didn't have it. I still kept drinking alcohol, and I still, you know, continued doing what I used to do all the time, and I weighed 196 pounds at the time, and I thought, oh good, 4 more pounds and I'm 200. But that was really not the way to look at it. Out of the 17 kids, siblings that I had, there's only 5 of us living, 5 of us girls from diabetes, and both my parents had diabetes.
How?
So all my life, I've seen my mom give herself shots, you know, for diabetes. She had to give herself insulin because she had the glass syringes back then, and we used to have to boil them and use alcohol and clean them out, and a lot of times she used dull needles where they would bleed. So when they told me I was diabetic, I didn't want to go through that. I was still drinking. I was a bartender, and that's actually kind of what made me stop the drinking. And I was still a bartender, but if I wanted a drink, I would visualize that needle, so it would stop me from drinking. And I was always heavy all my life, and till probably about 20 years now that I've lost all that weight, and guess I had a heart attack. Now I take 10 pills a day of different medications, and go to the cardiologist and the doctors every 3 months, or when they say I have an appointment, I go. And plus having such high sugars for so long and having high blood pressure, I lost my eyesight in 2001. I would use, like my daughters, I would tell them, you know, if my sisters that had passed on had done, you know, early tests or whatever, they might still be alive, you know, because that's what happens if you don't take care of yourself. And I had always used my youngest sister as an example, because she went blind and both her legs were amputated, and then they started amputating her fingers when she passed away. So she was blind for a good 10, 12 years. You know, if I was home, I probably wouldn't have lasted, because when you go to the convenience store back home, you don't see any lettuce, tomatoes, or cucumbers. All you see is
they're not
junk food.
available?
No, they don't provide that kind of groceries, you know, like in the convenience store at home. So you have to go further into like the big towns, the big cities like Bismarck or Minot to get those kinds of foods, or you know.
So even though in the city setting, you feel like there's not much activities, but the food in terms of vegetables and fruits, you have a lot of options here.
Yeah, at home when I go home, there's really nothing. I look around and I think, well, what can I eat? You know, you get a bag of potato chips, bottle of soda, you know, but that's it.
Okay.
Most, you know, that you shouldn't deprive yourself. You know, you can always have a little bit of whatever it is that you want to eat, as long as you are, you know, or you want to walk it off or work it off somehow.
Okay.
You know, you don't deprive yourself of everything that you would like to have. You can have everything as long as you move and walk it off or work it off somehow.
Burn that calorie.
Yeah, burn off the calories somehow.
Okay.
So even if you want, and so I trained myself to think about tomorrow. If I get a big plate of food and I get full, I say, oh, I'll have it tomorrow, or I'll have it later, I'll have it for dinner or whatever, and then I save it. So I don't eat as much as I used to, and which helps out a lot too. So it's pretty